Check it out, check it, check it out, check it, check it out, check it.
Hey, Greg and CE, call me hip hop junkie. Straight to your dome piece like Grass Monkey. All I wanna know, do you wanna get funky? CNC beats be kicking.
And welcome back to the Dig Podcast. We are here with two awesome special guests. We have Miss Maddie Baker. Maddie, say hi.
Hi.
And we have Miss Faith Castaneda.
Hey, everyone.
All right. So what we're going to do today is this episode is all about our exposure tour. And we've had 2 sessions so far. We started last week in San Antonio, and we had, I believe, 130 players sign up, and it was amazing. I thought it went really, really well. And then this past weekend, we had another one in Dallas, where I believe we had a total of 117 signed up and registered. So all in all, awesome, awesome from the registration standpoint. And I thought the level of play was extremely high. So I wanted to bring these 2 amazing ladies on and talk a little bit from their perspective of what they saw from both as a coach and just overall from the check-in process. So Maddie, let's go ahead and talk just a little bit about who you are and give yourself a little shout out.
I am Coach Maddie. I currently attend University of St. Thomas and play volleyball there. I'm about to get my marketing degree. I coach at Moco Mavs in spring. I head coach 11s and assistant the 17 twos team. And I'm originally from Southern California. I'm currently home right now.
Super
And
jealous, by the way. Super jealous of that background.
right. I coach beach volleyball as well. Something I'm very passionate in, and just super excited to be with Prep Dig now and being able to go to all these showcases.
I love it. And you started out working in Houston. We talked about it on a past episode before, but you were you're a player at St. Thomas, right? And you and your teammates have worked for me for the past couple of years as a
Yes.
coach, and we really loved your like energy and intensity. You kind of match my style a little bit because I'm just all over the place.
Very.
But now being a scout, what do you see like a big difference in how you go into looking at a showcase?
I feel like before my role was kind of to kind of ease the energy going in. Like I know it's kind of tense and it really shouldn't be, but a lot of people get very nervous for these things of like thinking about college recruiting. And I feel like now going in as a scout, I can really it's a different step that I can help them with. So before it was kind of like you're good, play your game. Now it's kind of like I watch everyone's game and I have the ability to help them grow to get that. So I'm at a higher position of being able to fully help and contribute to each athlete's life of getting that article or that shout out or something that's going to help them stand out to college coaches.
I love it. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And Faith, let's talk about you. Let's introduce yourself. Who are you? How long have you been working for us at Prep Dig? Take it away.
All the things. So, like you said, my name is Faith. I started and still in the Dallas area. I've been helping Prep Dig Dallas the entire time. Every now and then Mike decides to bring me on with San Antonio Houston group, and so we always go out there and have a fantastic time seeing some amazing athletes. I played at Southwestern Christian University and Dallas Christian University here in Dallas. I played 2 sports, so volleyball is not my only thing. I also played basketball. That was my first love, but volleyball kind of stole me away. So that's what I do
Oh,
now.
really?
Yes, basketball is what I love. Like I will sit and watch a game all day, but volleyball kind of became that thing that grounded me after the fact. And so it kind of it took over like my sophomore year. And so that was kind of one of those things that made Prep Dig exciting for me whenever I started helping and being a court coach, because I see these kids that may not have started the recruiting process as early. And so then, they're coming in their junior and senior year and it might be their first showcase, but it's like, hey, you can kind of give that, hey, it's okay that you started at this time because it can still happen because it happened for me. Like I didn't start really taking volleyball serious until I was a sophomore and junior. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, you should keep playing, So that part's always so much fun when it comes to seeing these girls at such an early age or even a late age and being like, hey, you can still be in love with the sport and keep getting better at it, So it's so much fun. That's probably one of my favorite parts about it. And then, all your energy that you bring to the game, Mike, you make it fun. The girls always, it makes it easier for them to get excited. And I feel like that's a big part of the game that we miss when it comes to recruiting because you think, like Maddie said, it's so serious. It's so like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous, I'm freaking out. But when you get coaches that are excited and yelling and pushing you, like you forget that you're there to do a job per se, and you enjoy it. You have fun. You remember why you enjoy doing this.
No, absolutely. And it's such a stressful like time for these kids,
Yeah.
right? They're trying to impress so many people and they're worried about how they look in every single second of the drill. And you're just like, hey, calm down. Just calm down. Enjoy
Yeah.
yourself, right? Because we all do better when we enjoy ourselves. So
Mhm.
I find that sometimes my energy might be a little too high, but I hope that it helps, a couple of players. But in all honesty, y'all two, I want to talk about y'all two for example. Like both of y'all bring such a wealth of knowledge in, everything that you do from being a court coach to, Faith, the way that you help with registration and check-in.
Mhm.
Y'all make my life so much easier. So I I'm gonna I talk to my bosses all the time, in our events team. They're always asking us questions of why
Oh.
does Texas have such great reviews? Why do y'all pay the people to tell, good things about you? And I'm like, no, we have an amazing staff that keeps working for us, every single year. And I owe all of our success in the showcases to y'all. So I want to talk a little bit about that if you don't mind. When you go and you see players checking in, right? So Maddie, you've done check-in as well.
I have.
Faith, you're like my check-in genius, right? I rely on you so much. But from the check-in standpoint, what do you see as far as like nerves from players and parents, and how do you help them kind of just know what they're supposed to do, give them their numbers, make sure they, go where they're supposed to go, and just kind of alleviate some of those nerves? What do y'all do?
Right. I mean, you can see it as soon as some kids walk in. Like there are some that you can tell they're used to this. They've done it 1,000 times. So they walk in, they already know like, hey, I know what I'm doing. Give me my number. Yes, I know. But you do have those ones who kind of walk in and it makes you think of like toddlers that kind of hide behind their mom's legs sometimes. And they're just like, oh my gosh. So I feel for me, it's always like giving that greeting of like being excited to see them like, oh my gosh, hey, good morning. How are you doing? Like, come here, come talk to me. What's your name? Those always kind of trigger like our energy triggers there. So like if I'm quiet and hi, how are you? What's the name? Then they're still going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so serious. I cannot be loud. But when they walk in and we're excited and we're yelling with them and, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you came, go have a great showcase, then those nerves kind of alleviate a little bit because they realize like I'm talking to a human and not a college coach who's about to ruin my life. you know?
You know what's funny is like when you
Ruined my
said that,
life.
I had a meeting with our senior manager, right, from our events team, and she was asking me all kinds of questions. And I said, make sure our directors and check-in staff set the tone. Like, and it's exactly what you're talking about right now. Is like y'all set the tone for how these players are going to perceive this entire situation, right? And
Yeah.
and if they see a smiling face that is very welcoming and kind of starts the conversation for them, then I think those nerves kind of go away completely, right? So you hit the nail on the head, right? And Maddie, that's okay. You've done check-in in Houston, right? Before when Faith and Cheyenne couldn't make it. So what
Yes.
what do you see as something that maybe could help other showcases that are a little smaller or aren't used to the check-in procedures? What do you see?
I would say it's kind of a mix of people who, like Faith said, of hiding like behind their parents, wanting their parents to do it for them because they're scared. And then another half of like they know what they're doing, walking with confidence. And I feel like my goal is to always outreach my energy to every single person that walks in the door. And honestly, a big goal of mine is a lot of the parents who sometimes seem nervous about the process as well, is kind of just always being super bubbly and making sure I'm reaching to them because maybe they're questioning like, and is this money worth it? Like, is it worth my time to be coming to these things? And I want to be seen to them of like, this is worth their time and these are good people to be around. And that's like the first impression, because on the court, they're not going to be standing there the whole time, listening to what we're saying to the girls. And it's like, was it worth it? Was it not? But I mean, at least making that first impression right away of like, this
Mhm.
is Prep Dig. We're the face of Prep Dig. We're working for them as registration. You as a parent, I want you to see that like I'm upholding what we are. And I want you to trust in us. And we're going to give that same energy to your child. So you should trust us. And then I feel like if a parent has confidence in it, especially if kids are like relying on their parents' approval to say, like, that makes them fully want to trust in us too in the process and kind of just want to fully dive in and be more comfortable.
I love it. And you know what I think? I agree 100%. I think what both of y'all bring to the table, and really the whole staff for the most part, it's this like great balance between professionalism, but yet enjoying the process as well. I think it's such an amazing balance between those two that really makes everybody feel at home, like the moment that they step in the doors to the moment that they leave, right? So I just want to say thank y'all so much for being such professionals at every aspect that you provide to us and the players. So thank y'all so much.
Of
Yeah, of
course.
And
course.
again, y'all make my job so much easier. Straight up.
Oh, anything for you, Mike.
Yeah, real.
The next thing I kind of want to talk about is like, what stood out to you in regards to like showcases that you've been to in the past as a player, as a coach, or even hearing some horror stories of past showcases, and not wanting to badmouth anybody. I don't want to mention any names, but I just kind of want to know like, where do our showcases stand out to you in relation to others? What do you think? Maddie, let's go first.
I'll go just from experience of hearing other people. And I if I did prep dig camps when I played in club, I honestly don't remember, if I'm completely honest. But I've done my fair share of college camps and like all of those camps. And I feel like prep dig Texas, from everything that I've heard and what I've experienced, is probably the most organized, upbeat thing that I've done. Like, you're not just there to do your job. Like, it's not like, I have to show up and I'm just here because I have to be here. People actually seem like they enjoy their job. Court coaches are having energy. That's what I strive to be, is like, I want you to know that I want to be here, not that negative energy, like, I just hate my life kind of thing. I hate volleyball. Like, I'm want to show that, like, the love for the sport that I have to give to others. So that's kind of been my goal. But I know that Texas, Prep Dig Texas, and you, Mike, for sure, always run it perfect. I don't think it could get any better. And people might disagree with me, but from the inside, doing it as a court coach and as a scout, because as a scout, I get to fully observe everyone. I'm not
Yeah.
stuck with just like my own positionals. That I really think, Mike, you run it great. So
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Don't want to talk about me too much. I appreciate the love, the kudos. Just kind of want to hear like y'all's opinions because it matters to me, right? And I'd love to hear even some negatives because that helps us get better and do and everything that we improves for the player. So, Faith, what do you think from your perspective, like either past showcases you've worked before, recruiting combines, anything that you went to as a player before, even in basketball. What do you see on our side now? What do you see the differences are from the showcases that you've been working with for us?
I'm gonna shout you out too, just because this is something that I took from you. Cause and like you said, this comes from past experience. So I didn't do many volleyball showcases, but with basketball, I was heavy in that recruitment. And I 100% in my time, not saying that I'm like that old, but then, um, they're going to these, a lot of times you're just a number. And in
Yeah,
my very first one working with you, like when I didn't just do check-in and it was I'm on the court with teams, like you emphasize learn your players. Like, yes, at the beginning, talk to like, hey, number 60, come here. But after you've done that once, what is your name? So while you're here, I can address you by who you are. And it makes the players
yeah,
more comfortable with their court coaches. Because again, now I'm not just some statistic. Like, I'm not just some kid who showed up and paid money. Like, this coach now, through for the next hour and a half, knows my name. Like they're not just whoever that girl is, blue shorts, red shoes. Like it's, hey, Faith, come here. This great job. That always makes any person
Yes.
in any setting, it makes you feel better to know that people can address you as you. And I like that is something I completely have always applauded when I first started with Prep Dig, because we do that. And then it's even now to where I've learned players. So when we start doing showcases again and it picks back up and we have players who return, oh my gosh, Lexi, Maddie, and again, it starts to alleviate some of their nerves. Like, oh, these coaches remember me, and
Mm-hmm.
Prep Dig is great at that. Like that was one of the first things that stood out to me. And then from a player's standpoint, also getting to see numerous coaches in different courts throughout the day. Like you're not, like Maddie said, you're not just stuck with whoever I have on this court, just this positional. Like Prep Dig does a great job of moving coaches and players around, because it's one thing you learn as both a player and a coach. Your coaching style and your playing style isn't always going to match up. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like just the way that I play probably doesn't fit the standard that coach has set for their program, but that doesn't make me a bad player, And so we
Yes.
get to these showcases where these players are on the court with different level players or with a different set of hands or a different coach with a different style. So they kind of get to see like, hey, there's not only one way of playing this game. My game can fit somebody else's program, and so I feel like it makes them, again, if you get the no, that doesn't mean everybody's a no. Like it just means it's not a yes yet. So I applaud Prep Dig for that.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate what both of y'all are saying. And I didn't want to do this podcast just to shout us out on positives. I kind of wanted to like, pick your brain, right, and see what y'all are really seeing with what we should do differently. But thank y'all so much for the positives that you're saying. One thing that you'll find out if you attend, the 5 people that watch this podcast, if y'all attend our podcast, I mean our showcases, we really do care. Like we really do care. Like we want to showcase as many players as possible. We want you to have a good time and enjoy yourself and want to come back. Because the more you get seen by our scouts, the more you get seen by college coaches, the better for you, right? And your recruitment. Speaking of college coaches in Dallas, we had 7 college coaches at the venue. They were helping out with some of the drills and they got to see a ton of players. We're going to have those 7 and I think one more attend in Houston, Maddie. So we'll have more college coaches attending. What did y'all see? How did it feel to have those college coaches actively watching the girls in Dallas? Maddie.
I think it was a really big step for girls who maybe feel like they've never been seen by coaches before, or coaches are never responding to me, anything like that. So I really feel that having those coaches present there really gives kind of a confidence boost of like people like they're actually watching me, they're on my court, they're physically seeing me, and they're not like I'm just not a number, I'm not just an email, like Faith was saying. Like
Yeah.
you're just not a number, you're not just there. But having coaches physically there and them going to every single court really proves that like you're gonna get seen by college coaches. And it was of all levels. We had JUCO to D1, like it was everyone, there was all levels there. So it really proves that
Right.
like it doesn't matter the level, like there's always a program for you. So I think really like, honestly, bringing more college coaches because if it was me personally, like, it'd make me feel better because then not just the college coaches presenting their program to people who may have never heard of their school, but kids who have never heard of the school because like you always say, Mike, you don't know how can you market yourself if you don't know what the product is. And so I
Exactly.
think that goes both ways with the college coaches and the kids. So it's just kind of opening another door for them. So I think it was great and I think we should try to do that more often.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, Maddie's quoting me. Uh-oh, she was
Yeah,
actually listening. She's actually
of
listening
course
to
I
my speech. That's
will.
awesome. No, just kidding. Faith, what did you see? Now this is I don't know what your 3rd year, 4th year. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
we're
how
going
you've been
on
here for quite a
4.
while. 4 years.
Don't make me sound
Wow, we
old,
are
Mike.
old. I'm old.
You, maybe, but
What
not
did
me.
you feel? We've
um,
had college coaches before, and I know you helped in nationals when we had it in Dallas as well, which there were tons
yeah.
of college coaches there. What do you see the difference between when college coaches are there versus when they're not there? Like, how does it feel for you?
I see 2 sides. There's pros and cons to everything. Pro being like Maddie said, like they're there in real time. Don't get me wrong, we love film. We love that we have it. We love that it's a resource for us. But it's always different when you can see a player in person, actually seeing their attitudes and their body language and the way that they adjust to others. Film can only show so much. So I feel like that is a big pro. Like in person, you can see what this kid can do on any court, on a random Sunday morning, but also at, nationals, we had a lot of coaches there. We had a lot of girls there. And that was insane. It was a great time. So much fun, but wow. I feel like it also does make the girls a little bit more nervous. It puts kind of some of them in that position of like, dang, I really cannot mess up because they're going to see it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it pushes them. Like it makes you say, hey, like, no, I'm really going to focus on my footwork. I'm really going to make sure I'm doing this step by step correctly. I'm going to make sure I'm listening to, arm up, throw your feet, those kinds of things. Because now, like I said, that pressure is there of I don't want to mess up. So let me do this correctly the way that, our demo did it, the way Mike was talking about, we want to emphasize X, Y, and Z. So there's two sides to it, but 100% definitely something we should still push so that the girls get that exposure.
I agree 1000%. Moving forward, what I want to do with our staff is make sure that they're aware of what both of y'all are saying, because we can help do two things. Number one, alleviate the pressure, right, of the players that are like, oh no, these eyes are on me, I can't mess up. Where really it's okay to mess up. Like we really want to push the narrative of, in all honesty, these coaches kind of want to see not you mess up all the time. They really want to see how you respond to that
Yeah.
mistake, right? How do you bounce back from that mistake? That's really what they're looking for, because they want to see, can this kid, take the adversity that comes with our college season, and can they bounce back, right? There's always going to be some type of adversity, right? So I think what we need to do as a staff is really teach these players how to showcase themselves, right? And having eyes on you, because eyes are going to be on them at the national qualifiers or
Yeah.
at nationals, right? So by having the college coaches in the showcases, I think it can teach them, this is what I need to do when I have even more college coaches. Or maybe these aren't the colleges I want watching me. Maybe I want some, different levels or other states represented, but I need to be aware that it's going to affect me somehow, right? So I think what I want y'all to do is just to make sure y'all talk to your players and say, hey, look, don't worry about them. Focus on yourself. And it's okay to make mistakes, bounce back, right? So let's just have that thought process moving forward, especially as we're going into Houston, Maddie, this weekend. I think it'd be very, very imperative that, we say that to the staff and the players, and just keep reiterating that over and over. Perfect. I appreciate y'all's outlook on that. Let me ask, are there any players? This is my favorite part. All right. My favorite part is like after we're done with the showcase, my mind is going like a pinball machine, back and forth of like, I want to talk about this kid, and this kid stood out for this reason. This kid had amazing leadership, her communication, effort level. I saw some kid almost run through the wall basically at one point during some of the drills. I want to talk about any players that stood out, right? Feel free to shut me up because you have some players that maybe you want to talk about. But Maddie, I want to talk a little bit about San Antonio, if you don't mind.
Okay.
We had Faith. I'm not sure if you knew this, but we had, I believe, 5 of the top 10 players in the 2028 class in Texas attend San Antonio, and the level on court 1 was out of
Insane.
this world.
Yeah.
Okay, San Antonio.
Yeah, it was awesome. So,
watch.
Maddie, who stood out to you in San Antonio? I know you wrote a couple of articles already, right?
Yes.
And I'm
Yes,
kind
I
of
did.
putting you on the spot to say their names, but do you remember anybody that kind of stood out to you and why?
So I'm like in my head, like I have their faces, but I'm totally blanking on their names. Not gonna lie, but I
I'll help
do
you out.
know of the one, Claire Bolton. I think she's 2028. She's a pin. Immediately when I walked in, you were demoing drills with the like setting drills, mind you, setting drills with a whole bunch. I think they were Cornerstone Christian kids, a lot of them on
Correct.
that court one, anyways. And I thought she was a setter. And I was like, beautiful hands. She's super athletic. We go into positionals. She's an outside. Well, I see her start
Correct.
hitting. I'm like, geez, like this girl's athletic. She has a good head on her shoulders, no bad attitude. She's very like neutral, very mellow, which is something that a lot of coaches like. You know, you may not be super high in energy, but you know, like we know you're consistent. You're one way. And I just everything I saw from her, like it was never a everything was always high. And even if she made a mistake, which was very rare, she just kind of was like, give me the next ball, kind of just like very chill about it, you know, and she she would dominate the next ball. She would be passing, she'd be doing all the right things. So she was a really great kid that stood out to me. And that's
I'm gonna tell you right now, Claire Bolton, 5'11", outside slash setter. She actually plays both.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. So I didn't know that. I only saw her as
she
an outside and I was
Yeah,
like,
she
oh,
plays
dang.
both. Cornerstone Christian and Alamo Volleyball Club. I believe they got third in Open last year at Nationals. Phenomenal player, right? That whole team is super stacked.
Yes, they were
But
all so good.
you know, when you first watch Claire, I think I put this in a couple of articles about her. When you first watch Claire, you're like kind of unassuming, right? You're kind of like, she seems like, I don't know if she'll be like a top 10 player. And then you watch her take off the ground and you're like, wow, just
Jumps
electric.
so high, very athletic, can
Yeah.
do everything.
Super
Like,
bouncy, ball
yeah.
controls out of this world, and
Mhm.
can just do anything on the court. I love the kid.
Yes, she's great.
How about her teammate, Brooke Oni? Do you remember Brooke?
Yes,
Middle,
yes,
just
I do
a
remember her.
warrior.
She's super funny, has a great personality. A whole bunch of the coaches that I talked to said, like, she's this great person, great family, great morals. You know, I think that's a big thing when it comes to college programs is, you know, like, how are you gonna be as a person? Like, volleyball is in your whole life, you know, you have to learn life lessons, and I think that's already in itself a great thing, but her as a player, again, she's a big girl, like, height-wise, you know, she's built, and sometimes when you look at that, you're kinda like, "But can they move? Are they athletic?" She's extremely athletic, just
Super
as much
fast.
as Claire. Yeah, she's super fast, hits hard, has a heavy arm, like, big block, always pressing. Like, that would be someone I'd be scared to go up against.
That kid, like you
For sure.
when she hits the ball, you can like hear the ball like from across the gym. Like she
Yeah,
has so much power.
just
It's
so much
awesome.
power, yes. It is
And I
insane,
love the kid. She has such a great personality when you talk to
yes.
her. Like
He's
who,
so bubbly, outgoing, love it.
whatever college program snatches her up is going to love her. She's going to be like the glue that holds a team together. I already know.
I agree,
And I
100%.
know you and I had a discussion on, players that we nominated for the Avoli
Yes,
Team
mhm.
Chemistry
It was
Award. Not
very hard, very
Very
hard.
difficult, tons of players that we nominated, but I actually ended up picking, um, 6'1" lefty right side, Piper
Piper.
Pease. I'm
Yes,
gonna shout her out right now. Phenomenal kid. When you meet her, I don't know
yeah.
if you had a chance to talk with her at the showcase.
Mhm. Very briefly,
Phenomenal.
but yeah, she's awesome. She seems very neutral too, like I was saying about Claire, which I think is a good thing that you're staying neutral, you know, like, you know what you're gonna get, you know how they're gonna react in super high, stressful pressure moments, you know, you need someone who's not gonna go off the rails. You need someone that's gonna be steady, and sometimes other people need that, you know, you're gonna have to have people that are more mellow, and then other people who kinda react to energy of everyone else, and I think she's a really good hitter that way. She's tall, she's really athletic, she's a lefty. Everyone loves
Yeah.
lefties, you know, tall lefties. So, I think she's a great all-around kid. I could see her transitioning even to an outside position with ball control. I think her
Oh, for
ball
sure.
control was really good. So, shout out to her.
Yeah, she can do it all on the court, and she comes from, like, such a wonderful family. Like, when you meet them, you're thinking, this family's perfect. Like they're awesome. They're just awesome. The mom, dad, brother, they're just really cool. Love that family. Want to shout them out. Actually, I'm going to get the dad on a podcast. I want to get a parent's perspective of Prep Dig
Awesome.
and talk about college recruiting. Because they're about to go on that journey, and she's going to
Yes.
get a lot of looks. So definitely want to have them on the podcast. Let's move now to Dallas. Not sure if y'all saw, but I went ahead and selected Miss Gracie White. She was a middle. Faith, I'm not sure if she was on your side or on Jill's court, but
She
she
was
was
on
on
Jill's
court
side.
one. That's right. Gracie White. She won our Avoli Sportsmanship Award for the Dallas showcase and wrote a little article on her. Not sure if y'all got to talk with her at all, but she's also a phenomenal young lady. extremely awesome competitor, and this kid can ball. Like at the net, she's a beast.
Yeah, 100%. Watching her in the middle on my side of the court going at it, I was just like, you would not think that these kids are in high school the way that they're going to war at the net. Like we had them, I think that was the first joust we had whenever we
Uh-huh.
started the chaos drill. And we had to toss the ball like 3 times because they were just like getting stuck with each other, pressing back. I was like, you guys are killers. Like, there's no way that you guys are still in high school right now. Like y'all are doing your job, you know. And she was so sweet. Like she's laughing the whole time because we were like, okay, well now we got to do it again because like we got to get a play out of it. And it was just funny to watch her like laugh and giggle and still be a kid, you know. Like it was so much fun.
I couldn't agree with you more. I saw some battles on y'all's court. It was crazy the level of ball that was going on, and y'all were keeping the court running so smooth, so fast. Is there anyone else on your court that stood out? If you don't know their names, I'll kind of look them up. But what were their numbers, or anyone that kind of stood out to you?
No, I have their names, okay? Like I went and I was so stuck because I know y'all shouted out some lefties. So as a certified lefty over here, I had me one on my court that I was so in love with her. So Lexi
Wait,
Caprio,
you're
she is a
left-handed? I didn't know you were left-handed.
surprise. Yes, I'm a lefty. I
Oh,
learned how to do
okay.
both because my coaches didn't know that I was left-handed until like a year later, but I never played. So
Uh-huh.
I learned everything right-handed and then just kind of flipped it and taught myself how to do it the other way. Um, but anyways, Lexi Caprio, she is a right side from Timber Creek.
Ah,
Again,
yes.
DFW is full of talent. Like you can find everything out here. Just shout out this area. But she oh my goodness. So there's a play, and it's embarrassing because one of the girls whose parents was like recording, she posted it on Instagram of her kid. But you see me in the background,
Uh-huh.
like turn and throw my hands up on the wall because I was just like, oh my gosh, this kid. So there's a play where she like kills the line. Like I tell you, she beamed the line. Like there's no stopping her. Like the block was late on her. She the left back when she dropped, like she just watched the ball hit because she was in shock. And I stood there and I was like, no, there's no way. I was like, do it again, do it again. She was like, bet. Like she really shrugged her shoulders and laughed. She's like, Coach, I got you. Like you thought that was on accident. And she goes up and does it again. And I was just like, this kid, like
Nice.
she's great. And her energy on the court, like she was excited. She's high-fiving her teammate. She's like diving for balls. And I was just like, oh my goodness. I was like, I'm a Timber Creek fan now. Like I'm coming to games next year. Like I need to be there. I need your schedule because there's no way that you're real right now.
I wanna go back and watch that footage. I definitely, yeah, she was one of your top performers, I know that,
Yes.
and, I know that, she came up and took a picture with me at the end. She introduced herself. I thought she was, just had a great personality, but I wanna go back and watch that footage because that's gonna give me even more motivation to write an article on her.
Yeah, I can't
Love
remember
it.
if it
Thank
was
you for
on
shouting her out.
hers. I can't remember if it was on hers on Ava Doherty's because she was the setter. So I can't remember which one of those because I did tell all of them like, hey, you know, go post all your stuff. So it was one of them that posted it. But yeah, you see me like turn in like complete disbelief, like I just couldn't believe what was happening.
You know what's crazy about her? She is a freshman. She's a
Yeah.
2029.
I asked her. I remember asking her. I was like,
Ooh.
"There's no way." I was like, and so I was like, "Hey, what class are you?" Whatever, and she was like, "Oh, I'm 29, coach." And I was like, "Go back over there." I was like, "There's no
Yeah.
way."
Yeah, she's a 2029. She's gonna play on One United's top 15s team. They're pretty stacked as well.
As she should.
But we put her, like, I put her and a couple of other 2029s on court one for a reason, because everything that I've seen in their highlight films told me that they belonged and that they could battle, and sure enough, her and a couple of others were just going bananas on y'all's court. So
Yeah, it
awesome.
was great.
Who else stood out? Anybody else? What about Maddie? Did anyone stand out to you? I know you wrote a couple of articles on some of these kids already, but
Yes.
who do you want to shout out?
So one that I do remember is Harlow Vasquez. I believe she was on your court, Faith. She's number 31. She
Libero.
yes, she's a libero. She was super good, super sweet and everything when I was walking by, was super nice, everything like that, great personality. I thought she was just super consistent. Almost lost the word. Super consistent. Serve receive defense. She did not let a ball drop. There was everything she went for, she sprawled out. There was great touches on everything. Her serving was absolutely great, and I just think she's someone that will really contribute to a college program. Great.
No, absolutely. Yeah, Harlow, 2027 libero, and let me see. I think she's at Crandall High School. She plays for 360 volleyball
Yes.
club.
Yes, she does.
Um, for sure. Yeah, no, she was awesome. She had great
She was
ball control.
wonderful.
One thing that I
Loved it.
really, really liked about her was, her posture was always super
Yes.
low. When the
Yes.
ball was on the other side, like she never stood up, never, or maybe she stood up a little bit, but for the most part, shoulders low, eyes
Mhm.
focused. Like she was just reading the play well before contact and always putting herself in a good position. So I agree thousand
I thought
percent.
she read hitters extremely well. She got in splits super early. She knew exactly where to be. Like, I think she was a phenomenal player.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I agree. I
Enjoyed
agree.
watching her for sure.
I'm definitely going to go ahead and put her information here and show a little clip of her as well on this podcast. You'll be able to see all 3 or 4 of these young ladies in a minute when I put their information up. Go watch them. Listen, thank y'all so much for coming on. This is just episode 1. I want to do actually a couple of episodes and really get into, why players should be going to these showcases, what to look out for, what they can do differently to stand out even more, get y'all's feedback as far as the scouting, court coaching, even as a player. I want y'all to give some feedback to these young ladies, in the future. So be thinking of future things you can say to them, right? I want to talk a little bit about Miss Faith. Miss Faith, didn't know I was going to ask you this, but I know you expressed a little bit of interest writing some articles for Prep Dig. I
Right.
want Maddie to give you some advice. I want Maddie, why should Faith come to Prep Dig and start writing articles for us? What advice would you give her?
I think Faith has the experience with Prep Dig of being here for a couple years as a court coach, as I did. If anything, I think a little longer, actually. And I think your ability to recognize players and have that energy super quickly, getting names down like that, notice those little plays is what really makes kids stand out because when you notice those little things, it makes you have the ability now to write about it. And that little thing could be a great thing to them because that little article to you or that little moment to them like stood out in a big way to you and now you can translate that into an article and that's something that they can show and that becomes that could be a big turning point for them, you know? If one article
For
means
sure.
one more college looks at you because you stood out, like I think you're doing your role as a scout, you're changing someone's life in that one way, one article at a time, you know, one school at a time, one kid at a time. And I think the more articles that are out there by having Faith come in would be great to benefit everyone.
So that means Faith, say yes. We want you aboard. We want you to write some articles for sure. Um, you know, here's what
Yay!
I want to say, right? Before you say yes to all of these amazing viewers that are going to be listening to you, I want to say this. This is what I've noticed, Maddie, about both of y'all, right? But I'm going to highlight Faith real quick, right? Because she's been in it for a couple of years.
Y'all
Y'all
keep making me
have
feel
what
so
I
old.
consider, y'all have what I call the eye. Right. When I say the eye, it's you can see a player and immediately analyze from like multiple perspectives. And I see that from both of y'all tremendously. Like when I have a conversation with you about a drill or a player or what to expect, it's you just grasp on the concept immediately. And I appreciate that. And I think that would translate amazingly well into some articles about players, right? So you kind of already you're doing it,
Mhm.
you're analyzing, you're watching, and now all I really want is put it on paper, right? Put it in written word so that you can help this player get some exposure, right? Um Talking about that, Faith, right? I think you just have that characteristic about you that you know sports. You
Yes.
can tell when the way that you talk, you know sports, you know what it takes to play at the next level. You've done it. Maddie, you're doing it now, right? Where do you see that this could really help players in the Dallas Fort Worth area or just all over Texas now that you're going to say yes to writing for Prep Day. See what I did there, Maddie? See what I did?
That was a good one. I'm a fan. I'm not mad at that at all. No, I mean, more than anything, Maddie kind of touched on it. Like our goal as a coach, more than anything, is to change these kids' lives. Like I didn't get to have all of the resources that a lot of these kids are getting and that Prep Dig offers. And so I know, like, had I had those things or had I known about those things, it would have changed my recruiting process across the board. Don't get me wrong, I loved my journey, I loved where I played, I loved my teammates, but
Yeah.
we're right in that and saying, like, hey, these kids with this one thing, like, and not to toot my own horn, but if coaches do read this article and they look at my background and, oh, this girl played, she coached, like, this kid, yes, because she's being seen by people who know what coaches look for. And so it kind of gives these kids, that little gold star that's like, hey, yeah, she's certified, like, give it to her. And those are moments you want, like, as a coach, as a parent, as a teammate, like, you want the person next to you to succeed. And more than anything, it's hey, like, I'm not just doing this to get paid or to get my name on a piece of paper. It's because I want your
Yes.
kid and this player to be the very best that they could absolutely be. And if for me, my job is, hey, I helped you in that by giving you a couple of words that shouted you out, I'm going to do that for you.
You are making me want to write an article right now. Like you're inspiring me. I'm gonna get off the podcast. I'm gonna go write about a couple of kids. I was really gonna enjoy
Well, go
my
write about
night, but
Lexi for me
now
because she's great.
Well, like, from me,
100%. She will definitely be getting an article within the next couple of days as I'm eating too much turkey, like hopefully y'all are. That is awesome. No, this is one thing that I really love about y'all, like so far the whole staff and just everything that we've been bringing to the table is y'all really care about these kids. You care about wanting to have an impact, right, in their lives. So I just want to thank y'all so much for having that desire to share the love that y'all have of this sport to others and really highlight and showcase players. Thank y'all so much for all the work that y'all do to make these showcases run as well as they have been and for making my life a lot easier. Appreciate it.
yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and end this podcast right now. This is just episode 1. We'll probably do a couple more, but I just want to thank y'all so much. And, if y'all need anything, please feel free to reach out. All the 17 million viewers that are going to view this podcast, just kidding. It's probably only 5 people, but everybody that watches this, I'm going to put Maddie's social media. I want you to go follow her on social media. I'm going to put Faith's as well. Please follow these 2 young ladies. They are amazing at what they do. And if you want to be featured on this podcast, please feel free to reach out to me, DM me on social media, or email me, and I'll go ahead and put those links here on the screen as well. But ladies, I just want to say thank you for being on this episode, and I look forward to more. And Maddie, I will see you on Sunday in Houston.
Yes, I'm excited.